environment. The workaround with this is eat organic food. That is what real food is. And so there's a lot of splitting hairs in the blogs and the internet these days. But the fact of the matter is we didn't use industrial compounds before, and they are affecting us now. How many mentors out there or have been coached by mentors that talk about results? Right? Results never lie. What are our current statistics? We've got 70% of the American people are obese or overweight. Cancer is now 1 in 2. I get phone calls from people that my brother, sister, mother has cancer, and I've been telling them for years, they may never change, and you want them to change, but that's not going to make them change. It's best to start using this message to take care of yourself. And so, and at the cornerstone of what makes up your materials, your bones, your teeth, your skin, your hair, is nutrition. Energy from the sun gets converted through photosynthesis, and the plants take the uptake from the minerals from the soil, as long as it's clean soil, and then the herbivores eat the plants, and the carnivores eat the herbivores. Everybody dies, the microbes eats everything else, and this is called the closed organic cycle. This is the way biology works on this planet. It's not changing anytime ever, really. And so, at least if you're in the third dimension on planet Earth. And so, what you put into your body, you are what you eat, is an axiom that's not going away ever, right? So, organic food is critical for the human body. It's called real food. Everything else is commercial, manufactured. And I'm not into conspiracy theories or anything like that. Conspiracy theory was just designed for anyone who's questioning the JFK assassination, right? So it's not about conspiracy theories. Look, we're business people. This is since the Magna Carta, Manifest Destiny. We're out there creating the world. We've created this magnificent place with as much technology as we have. We don't throw the baby out with the bathwater. It's simply time to optimize and innovate. And entrepreneurs have always used innovation in shifting consciousness. Elon Musk is one of the biggest disruptors in the world today. He's not waiting for free energy to build an electric car system and an electric system. He created a solar company. He's got he's coming out with big tractor trailers right now. He's got race cars, all on the electrical grid, because once we get sustainable energy, then we don't need oil, and we don't need to use the military-industrial complex to extract oil out of places like Africa and the Middle East, etc. And so my vision for the future is clean air, water, and soil, and equitable systems for all mankind in my lifetime. This is a vision that will be crystallized in my lifetime. Why? Because I say so. I speak it into existence. Abracadabra literally means my word is my wand. So watch the words that you tell yourself and the internal dialogue. And that internal dialogue can be disrupted from the toxic compounds that are naturally in our environment because of the industrial age. So this isn't doom and gloom, guys. I'm just a messenger here to tell you something you already know at the soul level. You already know this. I believe in a world where we used to tell our grandchildren, we used to put chemical weapons on the earth. We used to use them against people. We used to have nuclear weapons, and we used to put those weapons and chemicals in the soil. And we don't do that anymore because a few people stepped up to the plate, and then consciousness was raised by the few people that spoke it into existence. That's what's always happened at moving the cultures forward. And so that's what's happening right now. The Great Awakening cannot be stopped. I saw a vision in the Amazon in 2006 that humanity makes it. And we are facing, if you look at statistics right now for the environment, what we've done to the oceans, what we've done to the soil, what we've done to the Middle East and Africa, we're screwed, guys. We are completely screwed. And we can create through innovation and our mind's eye whatever we wish to see. So my vision, again, clean air, water, soil, equitable systems for all mankind in my lifetime. If you don't know what an equitable system is, I got a one-way ticket to Syria, Afghanistan, Libya, Darfur, etc. And so equitable systems for all mankind. Went a little sideways on the big vision, but that's my come from. That's where Thank you. So what I'm here to do is to give you guys poetic license for the tools of transformation, things that you can apply into your life every day. And it's not about, perfection does not exist. This is about progress and moving towards the goal. Healthy me equals a healthy planet. We cannot expect the world to be healthy unless we're healthy ourselves. And it takes the influential and affluent to start investing in their own bloodstream through organic farming, through organic products that builds the movement out. I live in Venice Beach, Santa Monica, California, and the movement is on fire there. You can buy organic food. If you're not selling organic food on Main Street in Santa Monica, you're going to be out of business in the next 3 years. So this is the movement, this is the trend, and it's for the future of our children, ultimately. And so, and you can make a difference. The difference always comes from inside. So food is not food. We used to hunt and gather. What did we hunt? Wild game, grass-fed ruminants. These animals used to eat grass on the grasslands. And now we're feeding them corn and GMOs. Genetically engineered soybeans and corn goes into the feed for these animals. How do you fatten up an animal for market? You feed them grain. How do you fatten up a human being? It's the same thing. And Kellogg's and General Mills, in the 50s, they developed all these programs with scientific information that was pay for play on the news, saying that breakfast is good food and breakfast cereals, et cetera, et cetera. And now what do you have? I clean my nose out daily. And I recommend you do too. And so again, industrial age is really just about business and moving certain ideas forward, and now those ideas are causing problems, and they're disrupting the health of the human being. So we have to redesign the systems. So Wikipedia defines food. Wikipedia defines food as any substance consumed to provide nutritional support for an organism. And so biodynamic is the highest quality, organic. Real food has an exact molecular match to human biochemistry. It's very simple, guys. The principles that I'm teaching are very, very simple. Our digestive tract built over millions of years, hunting and gathering. What did we gather? Roots, barks, berries, greens, edible plants, and then we hunted big game. That's where we got our protein. The paleo and the keto movements are hitting on this. 70% of the American people are obese or overweight right now. So a lot of the dietary understanding has gone back to paleo man. How did we originate? And so, and I don't subscribe to diet paradigms. I'm not telling you exactly what to eat. I'm just telling you to eat real food. How I work with my clients is I tell them, eat when you're hungry and eat real food. And that's it. And what is real food? Who can repeat what real food is?
Organic.
What we used to hunt and gather. So source the best. There's farmers out there providing that type of nutrition for us. There's organic companies out there providing that type of nutrition for us, delivered straight to your door. Right? You can order a lot of this stuff online. Wild fish, grass-fed ruminants, frozen. You can get it fresh as well from North Star Bison up in Minnesota. So it is available, especially for the affluent people that are sitting in this room right now. And so, so my question to you guys is, we all like the Ferraris and the Lambos, right? Do you put diesel fuel in that vehicle? Why not?
Blow the engine.
Correct. And what do you think's happening to us right now? What do you think an obesity rate is? Animals in the wild, have you ever seen an animal in the wild? They're svelte. You ever seen a sick animal in the zoo? Here's a news flash, guys. We're domesticated animals now. We're feeding things that aren't food, and we got problems pooping, right? That's what, you want to know what your health looks like? Look in the toilet bowl. That's the Mr. Poopy policeman. And I have, you can pass that around. And on the back of it is the circadian rhythms, which is very important. So the workaround, guys, for the modern world is eat organic food. 75% of your fitness is going to come from your nutrition, or abs are made in the kitchen. Does that make sense? Mm-hmm. Mark my word, you start eating legitimate, real food, vegetables, and grass-fed meats, you're going to go back to your wild being in the nature. Right? Mark my word on that. Trust me. And so, and I'll work with anybody that wants to work with me. I have some information at the end about that. So the problem is that we've created and marketed ingredients or non-foods to look and taste like food using synthetic and toxic compounds like food coloring, preservatives, pesticides that the body does not recognize. So chronic, random, linear inputs create chaos in a dynamic system. We are dynamic beings moving through time and space, right? We're not a static petri dish in a laboratory. We are dynamic beings. We're self-healing systems. The body automatically heals itself. It's called autogenesis. And so if we give it the proper nutrition and the proper environment, the cutting edge of science right now is epigenetics. So everybody's hip to all these genetic markers, and you can get your genes tested to see if you have this problem or that problem. But when you read Bruce Lipton's book, The Biology of Belief, then you start to understand that we control how the genes express themselves, depending on the nutrition, the ideas and the thoughts and the language that we give ourselves. That's why language is so important, like we talked about before. Your internal dialogue about yourself. And so this is the way the world works. And so when you're sticking these chronic linear inputs, and I mean that by, hey, vitamin A is good for this, vitamin E is good for that, vitamin C, there's 2 Nobel laureates that won the Nobel Prize for the effects of vitamin C on the human body. But vitamin C doesn't come in a vitamin C package. It comes in food with all the cofactors, the riboflavin, the bioflavonoids, that allow the vitamin C to go into the cells. Because we're talking about cellular nutrition here. The cellular nutrition is reflected on your outside, your skin, your hair, and the way your musculature falls off your skeletal system, right? So, put another way, the body is intelligent, but when one continuously ingests materials like these, it clogs or constipates the system, and over time it will break down and get sick. And that's what we're seeing in the world today. Autism's 1 in 17 right now. They're forecasting by 2030 it's going to be 1 in 2.
Wow.
Yeah, that's, a birth defect situation. You think we might want to rectify that? You think we might want to review the toxic compounds that we have in the environment? I have another one of these that I want to pass around. The World Health Organization declared glyphosate to be carcinogenic in 2015. They put this on the market in 1983 with deregulation with Reagan, and they allowed this to be on the food supply. It's got 3 patents, so it was used as a desiccant to help wheat and oats bloom and barley, and that's where most of the people believe that the gluten sensitivity, the celiacs, is coming from. The guy that wrote Wheat Belly can't replicate his data. He believes it's coming from the glyphosate. Trust me, this is a big issue right now, and it's one of the biggest things in the food movement. I'm working on a film with Dave Murphy of Food Democracy Now! Right now. You want to pay attention to this. And we developed the only product that cleans out the glyphosate out of the tissues. I can tell you more about that upstairs, and there's some on the back of here. So pass that around too. You can have a look at that. So the glyphosate is a big deal to pay attention to, and that's something that's pretty much invisible. The other stuff, because it's not labeled. The genetically engineered foods are not labeled, right? That's the problem. Hey, if it's so good for me, just label it, and then I can make my own choice. Right? And so that was the big fight in 2012 with Prop 37 in California. We raised $11 million, but Monsanto spent $35 million. So we lost, what do you call it? We lost the battle, but we're winning the war. Why? because everyone's now aware of GMOs. It's a household name. And so what did Monsanto do? They merged with Bayer to hide their name. We've got millions against Monsanto and all sorts of marches that are happening right now. And so, and again, this isn't really bad or good. I don't think there's an evil boogeyman out there. I think it's just good for business, right? Hey, Monsanto made Agent Orange to burn down the jungle to win the Vietnam War, and they're war profiteers, and business is the bottom line, which is your stocks and your investors. And so, hey, they got all these materials, but no war to fight. Hey, let's put it in the food, right? There's a great movie called The Future of Food that documented all the collusion and the corruption in the government with industry, and watched the revolving doors of these politicians pass these laws. And in 1996, they were unleashed on the planet, and we are the long-term feeding study of genetically engineered food. And if you're looking at statistics, again, results never lie. 70% of the American people are obese. When I started Certified Health Nut 13 years ago, that statistic was 62%. 70% is, that's almost 10% growth in a small amount of time. That's exponential growth, and 70% is close to 100%, which means it's coming after me and my kids. So if I don't stand up and say something, it's coming for me. And I'm not having it. I like being healthy. It feels great. It feels good to have a clear mind, to have healthy skin, to be 52 and not look like a statistic, right? Health and happiness is our birthright. The pursuit of liberty and freedom, that is our birthright. And being free from metabolic processes that are bogging us down, that is true freedom. We could name this workshop right now, Know Thyself. How many ancient sages have said that? Do they teach the closed organic cycle in school? Maybe you learned it in 2nd or 3rd grade or something like that. And maybe if you studied science, they focused a little bit on that. But more often than not, the universities are set up to get you working in the laboratories of these major corporations. So they're not going to focus on the holistic element. They're going to focus on the business aspect. And so it took me years to uncover and figure all this stuff out. So what materials are they sticking in your food? Acidity regulators, antibiotics, right? The literal meaning of antibiotics is to kill life, right? It's trying to kill the bad organisms, but guess what? It kills all the good organisms at the same time. Your gut microbiome is made up of 15% bad bacteria and 85% good bacteria. We're in symbiotic relationship with the natural world, with fungus and microbes that have developed for billions of years. These are intelligent animals that live inside of you. Even the ATP inside your cells is a foreign parasite. So only 10% of you is actually you. The rest is in symbiotic relationship with the environment. And so the idea is to get your gut microbiome strong so that you, as a being, are constitutionally strong. Because the host organisms are always there looking for lunch, right? They're always looking for lunch. And so if your gut microbiome gets hammered, it lowers your immune system and it opens you up for infections, fungus and parasites and bacteria and other host organisms. So acidity regulators, anti-caking agents, anti-foaming agents, antioxidants, bulking agents, food coloring, color retention agents, emulsifiers, flavors, flavor enhancers, flour, glazing agents, herbicides, hormones. A note on herbicides. We used to have a chemical for mosquitoes and pests, a pesticide called DDT. Does anybody remember this name? In 1962, Rachel Carson wrote a book called Silent Spring. I recommend everyone read it to really understand our world. And this isn't new, right? This has been going on for a while. So the only reason DDT was banned, does anyone know that reason? It was affecting the bald eagle population. That's our national bird. That was the only reason that got banned. And here's another news flash for you guys. Whatever we ban here, we export. So DDT is in Peru, it's in the Amazon, it's in Vietnam. And so it's still around, but we banned it here. Why? Because it affects the endocrine system and the reproductive system of the human being. And so, and the GMOs are doing the same thing. You know, watch the movie The Informant with Matt Damon. It was a story about Archer Daniel Midlands and how the corruption that they were doing inside that corporation to sell a chemical that was enhancing the growth of a shrimp so that they could get more to market. And so, buyer beware. Get the best high quality food that you can source, because the investment in yourself is going to show through. You're going to create a magnetic vortex where people are going to want more of what you have, because clearly you know what's going on because you've taken care of your own self. Know thyself. And people want to be around the wise sage. People want to be around the people that are grounded, that are zen, because we've got so much stress that I'm going to talk about later in our environment now, that it's affecting our hormones, it's affecting the way the human body operates, regulates, and self-heals. So all these things are affecting us, and the results never lie. So eating non-foods or poor quality food will result in the current statistic. Again, 70%, we talked about that. The problems associated with being overweight: heart disease, high blood pressure, diabetes, cancer, gallbladder, osteoarthritis, gout, breathing problems such as sleep apnea when a person stops breathing for short periods during sleep, and asthma. And so 33% statistics on diabetes right now. So here's the thing, people complain to me all the time, hey, organic food's too expensive. What's the price of gallbladder removal? It's about 35 grand unless you have insurance, and then it's about $350,000. But we all know that the medical industry has its own little game. There's a game going on, right? I teach my clients to be their own doctor. It's not that a good medical doctor can check you out and things like that. And I had my first surgery at 52 this year. I had a varicose vein burned out of me. And so things happen, and the medical industry is powerful. My daughter was born in the hospital. I'm not anti, it just is what it is. Emergency medicine is handy in a pinch, but it's dangerous when it's practiced as a business looking for clients. They'll take your gallbladder out, no problem. Or you can work with me, do a 10-day cleanse, and probably most of your problems are going to be abated momentarily, and if you go deeper, you're going to heal yourself. Fasting is an ancient tradition. It's been around for a long, long time. The Essenes taught Jesus how to fast, and he did multiple 40-day water fasts. That's what awoken him to the next level of consciousness. And I'm not religious, but there is certain spiritual axioms throughout all religious texts. And Jesus said, you can have what I have and more. Brother walked on water and healed people at will. So let's start teaching and preaching that. And let's wake ourselves up. There was a process, the hero's journey that Jesus went through, or any hero that's walked the face of this planet. Ancient sage, Zen masters, Qigong masters, yoga masters, that have understood know thyself. They went deep inside of themselves, and then they optimized their human experience. And that's what we're going through. We're going through a great awakening on this planet. Statistically, we're screwed. I worked in the Amazon as a medicine hunter for 8 years with an herbal company, and I watched the lumber and the trees being cut down and hearing all the politics about the oil exploration. And so we're whacking the jungle down. It's where our biodiversity comes from, and it's the lungs of planet Earth. The same thing can be said about the oceans. At the soul level, we all know this is true. You want to change the world? Get healthy. Change yourself. Get healthy in the mind first, then fine-tune your nutrition and add some movement that is going to help keep your body lubricated into old age, like the Qigong masters, right? You want operating your physiology until the day that you die. You want what's your birthright, which is your health, to be fully functional human. That's what it's about, to be clear and conscious. So, cost of diabetes, $25,000 a year. Cost of cancer, gallbladder removal. What's the emotional drain on your family? So we don't want to pay for organic food. It's very simple. Pay now, pay later. Pay the farmer, or pay the doctor. It's your choice. It's as simple as that. And everyone in this room, if I can afford organic food, you can afford organic food. Put yourself first. No one else is. What do they say on the plane? Put your mask on first. Because if you don't and you go unconscious, the child dies and you die. So health is the most important thing in your mission on this planet. Once you're tuned up, I mean, people think, Troy, what are you on? Or, you're just trying to make money. This is my mission in life. This is my passion. I get lit up. I never know what I'm going to say. Yeah, I got some guidelines and some pictures to accent what I'm talking about. But the fact of the matter is this is coming through. This is divine providence moving through me because I've raised my consciousness to a different level and I understand my purpose, dream, and legacy. Again, back on mindset just for a second. The most important thing I do when I work with clients is to figure out their dream. If you don't know what your dream is, I highly recommend you work it out over the weekend. If you don't know what your dream is, figure out what your nightmare is, what you're afraid of, because that's your internal dialogue that's running in your subconscious. Get very clear on your dream, your legacy, your purpose. You want another tool? Figure out what your best friend's going to say at your eulogy. What legacy are you here to leave? Get clear on that, because all the business stuff will fall into place once you're clear on that. And once you're healthier, you're talking 70% statistic rates right now. If you're healthy, you are a natural attraction factor. Business up the wazoo, leads, conversions become easier, because people want to be around you. Does that make sense?
Yes. Amen.
So, number 2.
Number 1 was
Like
30.
super secrets that all successful people know that don't want to be fat, sick, and nearly dead. Or the subtitle is Know Thyself. Okay, so humans live a sedentary lifestyle and think they can outrun their bad diet. Right? So we used to eat and poop just like this. And now we're sitting in chairs, which is flexing our psoas and our hip flexors, so the front of the body's strong, and it's stretching out my hamstrings and my glutes, so then the glutes stop firing. You add to that, you add to, this is just entertainment, keep me on point. You add to that a diet that's blowing out the guts as well. How many people you hear talk about integrity in business, right? You want to know what true integrity is? What's that? Yes. The literal definition is when the mind and the heart and the gut are aligned as one, right? And you are integrity, you have integrity in your body, and it has to do with what's going in the mouth, because what's going in the mouth creates your energy and vibration, so what's coming out of the mouth, and again, abracadabra, your word is your wand. You're creating with the vibrations that you're putting out there. So that is true integrity. When the mind, the heart, and the gut are aligned physically, literally, and figuratively. Does that make sense? That is true integrity. So we live a sedentary lifestyle. So syndrome X is the guts get blown out, and then the glutes go, and then we're sitting. So then our posterior chain is not activated, so then we get poor posture, and this is basically aging, right? Texting on the cell phone, you're on the computer, this is aging, right? So to reverse that is to clean up the gut, activate the posterior chain. So if you're an older man or a woman, you do corrective exercises to make sure that your musculature is pulling you up. Your glutes are activated, and your upper thoracic, all your muscles in your posterior chain are pulling you back so that your guts can be in alignment. So the problem is that we have this sedentary lifestyle. We're sitting in cars, we're sitting in traffic, and we're sitting at desks, and we're using cell phones now. And then people think that they can just get into a gym and start outrunning their bad diet on top of it. And here's a newsflash for you guys. Exercise is a stress. There is no bad exercise. It just depends on your athletic ability. So if your glutes aren't firing, it's probably not a good idea to be doing burpees. Right? Unless you want an injury. And then if you're in the gym and you're getting some kind of results, and then you get an injury for 6 months, 4 months, or you re-injure it and you're out forever, then what does that do to the sedentary lifestyle? It compounds it, right? So gentle movements, and I'll teach some of those in a few seconds. And so the body is a pump. So you got your heart to pump the blood, but what pumps the interstitial fluid, the lymph? That's your body, your transverse abdominis, your diaphragm, and your pelvic floor. And so movement is essential. It's not a luxury. Exercise is not a luxury. It's essential. For a stagnant body of water turns into a, hey, nobody's paying attention, right? So what happens with the interstitial fluid inside your body? And if you start to hear cancer patients that start healing themselves naturally, they usually get on the trampoline and they start bouncing and jiggling their lymph to get it moving, get it flowing. And I've got some really simple exercises for all of us in this room that will get it flowing. And so you don't need to go to the gym and stress the body out more. Most of us guys can't handle it. The level of stress, there's 6 factors of stress with the electromagnetic radiation and pollution and the chemical toxicity that's in our environment and the financial stress and the psychic stress and the thermal stress living here. Those are 4 of the 6 factors of stress, and a lot of those are invisible. If we're not calculating that, and we're not assessing our own energy levels before we go into the gym, you could literally be working against yourself because cortisol is released as a stress hormone, and when cortisol is elevated, it stores fat and shuts down digestion, fight or flight. And most of us are living in that. How do I know? Because I live here too. And I'm a human being just like you guys, but I had to figure all this stuff out. Remember, I was at 40, I started having kids. So I was exhausted at 45. I had my own health issues. I had motor recruitment issues. I had issues with my posterior chain. I had photographs of my back taken and my spine was out, and I had to correct all that stuff. And it's totally doable as you commit to your own excellence. You want business success? Get success in your own body. It's so much easier to achieve, and that alone will attract the people that you want to work with. People will just be naturally attracted to you, and then you can choose which leads you bring into your life. Because some people are toxic, and you don't have time for that. They can watch your videos online. Right? Am I right? So, okay, so sitting for more than 3 hours a day shuts down your core, and everything comes from the core, right? We come out of bed, everything gets stimulated from the core. So being bogged down by metabolic processes is a major stress. So manage your stress wisely, and no, you cannot outrun your bad diet. Eat organic food and find exercises that are de-stressing. If you got the energy and you want to do some deadlifts, I'll meet you on Friday. Make sure I got plenty of sleep, and we'll do some deadlifts. But most of the days, I'm just out there doing Tai Chi or Qigong in the sun, making sure I get my stretch, and I ride my bicycle for transportation. And so my movement is taken care of just by my lifestyle. I've designed my lifestyle around that. And so I challenge everyone to my 100-day Qigong challenge. And I know Qigong is probably a fancy esoteric word, but Qi means energy and Gong means practice. So you do 100 days, it will create a habit that's in your life forever. You don't necessarily have to do it every day, but once you do the 100 days, it'll be in your template, and you know you can just walk out in the sun, get grounded into the earth, get all the electricity and the Wi-Fi out of your body, and just do this with me. Stand up and try and find some room. Okay guys, I'm going to teach you 2 moves. And you gotta watch your hands, you don't wanna hit them on the chairs. This is called ape hands. So you just basically, this is hard for some people. Frozen shoulder is real, it's a stress-related issue. And so it can cause other orthopedic issues and stop us from moving. So just gently toss your arms into the ground. So this serves two purposes. The earth has a negative redox potential, and so it's natural antioxidant. When you do this barefoot in the ground, it'll ground you out and feed you antioxidants. And so this is de-stressing, and it opens up your breathing pattern 50%. Okay? It's called ape hands. Just throw your hands into the ground. You can rock your hips and get into it. Get into the zone. Figure out where your own kinks are. And you can't do it wrong. Okay? And it helps to have not a suit on, right? And so the other one, and you can do this with a suit, it's called the Zen swing. So you close your eyes and you leave it on the horizon. And you swing. You don't have to close your eyes if you have stability issues.
That's called flossing.
If anybody golfs, this is excellent for your golf swing. It lubricates all the
They
tissues.
renamed it.
It moves the cerebral spinal fluid up and down the spine, and it lubricates the joints, every joint in the body, and the synovial fluid. So ligaments, joints, fascia, it keeps everything mobile. This is so simple. Some people probably won't do it, but let me tell you, you get more mileage out of this than going into the boot camp and stressing your body the hell out. Trust me, 20 minutes of this a day will change your life. Young or old, fit or not fit, it doesn't matter. It moves every joint in the body and de-stresses the mind. Monkey mind, you're getting ready for a big meeting and your mind's racing and you didn't get good sleep. Go out in the sun and do 20 minutes of this, ground it into the earth, and your problems will disappear and you'll feel amazing. And your exercise is done for the day. I have a gift for everyone. I have a playlist with all these natural movements on my YouTube channel, Certified Health Nut. It's a playlist. It says natural exercises. Please hit that up. I also have things to activate the posterior chain. Stand up one more time. I'll show you for all us desk sitters and traffic drivers. In yoga, this is called Samasthita or mountain pose. So externally rotate. So we're going to externally rotate our thumbs. We're going to pinch our shoulder blades. We're going to put our feet together. We're going to draw our kneecaps off of our shins, flexing the quadriceps, and also turning them into the groin. So you're internally rotating the legs and externally rotating this, and we're breathing. The chin is tucked a little bit, and there's a little string pulling up your crown. And we're breathing, guys. Don't forget to breathe. Do this for 3 minutes. Anytime you're getting bogged down, do this for 3 minutes. It's called a nervous system activation, and the first level of strength comes from the nervous system. You can also do this laying on the ground and bring your weight up and do the same thing. And this will activate the posterior chain. You'll feel taller just from doing this. Externally rotating, pinching the shoulder blades, lifting your kneecaps off of the shins by activating your quadriceps, turning your quadriceps in, and breathing. Breathing, because the nervous system, you want the signal from the brain to go there because you want that to be your resting position. Let that go and feel that. You want your resting position to be activated, right? So that's how you turn on the body. Very, very simple techniques. That's 3 techniques. I've got more on there. So how much time do I have, Brian?
You're at about 45.
Okay, all right, great. So guys, the number one obstruction that we have for not doing all this stuff is that human beings have been programmed to go against their gut instincts. The mind sees and stores information in images in the mind, and the major corporations know this. That's why advertising and marketing, they took all Freud's work and they put that into marketing campaigns since basically the beginning of the industrial age when radio and television came on. And we've been programmed for the last 50, 80 years on corporate agendas. So to dismantle that, we have to reprogram our own mind. And my one workaround for all of that is get back to nature in all of its facets as much as possible. A great workaround, and I want to get to some solutions for you guys, because I don't want this just to be all doom and gloom. I want to get it down to practical. One of the biggest stressors that we're dealing with is electromagnetic frequency and electromagnetic radiation. And the whole AI boogeyman is going to come out. They're working on the 5G. 5G is already in LA. And this is affecting the human body on a big level. I know this from researching the black mold and microbes. They had petri dishes and the bacteria grew 600% with just the ambient Wi-Fi in the laboratory. And when they turned it off and put a Faraday cage over it, it couldn't grow. So the electromagnetic radiation is exacerbating our issues. So turn your Wi-Fi off, have your electrician come out, rewire your house, get hardwired as much as possible. If you're going to use your Wi-Fi, turn it off around your kids that are sleeping. The little girl's eggs are being affected by electromagnetic radiation. Don't take my word for it. Do your research, especially if you have children. But they're putting these cell phone towers on kids' schools now. And it's dangerous, so we have to work around. One of the easiest ways to get a good night's sleep is turn off your Wi-Fi, figure out your electrical system, leave the refrigerator on, turn all the breakers off, and it feels like the woods.
Troy, tell about I just got my tonsils out because the phone was messing with the tonsil stones. He was helping. I had tonsil stones for years, and finally I had to get surgery and get them taken out because my phone was literally cooking up the stones. The electromagnetic current was creating blockage, and it was irritating my vocal cords to the point where I thought I had cancer. So I'm asking everybody, what's going on? Finally, I'm like, I'm just cutting them out. And they said when they pulled out my tonsils, my adenoids underneath, they said they were so packed with tonsil stones, it was like pulling out a potato plant with just tonsil stones on it. And that was about 3 weeks ago. I haven't had pain since.
Wow.
And look, we are the environment. We are nature. We're in symbiotic relationship with nature. There's no separation. We're also connected to each other. Rabbi Hillel taught Jesus, all one or none. So this isn't about me and my business. If I don't do something, I'm going to become an obesity statistic, my children are affected, and what legacy will I leave? So we are going to have to use our innovation, and it's already happening, beyond. Nikola Tesla invented the 60 megahertz cycle, and the AC and DC currents. And he told JP Morgan 5 years after they ran the wires, he had a better invention beyond the 60 megahertz cycle because it's no good for human beings, right? And the money and the copper wires were already run across the nation, and they said that would cost too much money. No. And then he invented free energy, wireless technology, free energy, and JP Morgan's like, well, how are we going to meter it? And he's like, you don't. It's free. It's for the people to evolve the species. And JP Morgan burnt down his laboratory in Long Island and discredited him. He had more inventions than Thomas Edison. Look it up, guys. Watch it. Watch a handful of documentaries are all over YouTube on Tesla's work. Why does Elon Musk, a multi-billionaire inventor, name his car company after Nikola Tesla?
He's in the world.
Because he's doing an end around. He's not fighting the oil companies. He's creating full infrastructure, and he's got solar panels that you can put on any roof that are beautiful, ceramic. They compete with the same price of ceramic or Adobe, and they're super high quality and they're cost effective. So Elon Musk is really paving the way. And if you haven't watched his video interview with Joe Rogan on the Joe Rogan podcast, it was brilliant. And what was his final solution? Did anybody watch it? That's right, buddy.
Say it louder.
Love it.
That's what the smart guy figured out. Tesla, or
Musk.
Musk.
Yeah.
So if our big industrialists can say that, that is the truth. And ultimately, what is love? It's this nebulous concept. Love thyself. love and nurture the self. Everything I'm teaching you guys about self-care. First, mindset and understanding the world that you live in, first of all. Second of all, understanding your biology and physiology, how it works, and the stress factors that are in there, and then manage it and mitigate it, and help us climb out of this hole. Because otherwise, we're creating our own demise, and it's happening quicker and quicker. So to put it simply, man has been manipulated, brainwashed, and mind controlled via propaganda and substances like food additives. The food additives keep you dumb. And so anesthetize, this is dumbed down and anesthetized much of the population into apathy, indifference, and obedience. Anybody see the zombie movies or make jokes about the zombies and stuff? Or, that's what's happening. People are checked out. They're checked into their phone. They're not healthy. And we've created automatons. They're consumers, right? They're buying the junk and the stuff that we've created. It's good for business, but we've got a planet to evolve where there's no more biology that's going to be safe and hospitable to live because we're choking off our life support systems. And just by being healthy, you're going to change the world. Remember, I've already seen the vision. We make it. So just be part of the solution now. Otherwise, you'll be upgraded when, look, there's 10 organic juice bars in walking distance of my house in Santa Monica. I started juicing 30 years ago. People are like, what are you, some kind of crazy health nut? Now it's commonplace. Right? So it's already changing. Just jump on the bandwagon. So if you don't believe that you're mind controlled, just Google Operation Mockingbird. These are all CIA declassified programs in the 50s, 60s, and 70s. And if that was 30, 40 years ago, what are they doing now? With Google, Apple. The reason they don't tell you 5G or Wi-Fi can be potentially harmful for you, and it's not advertised, you can find it on the internet. You can talk about military experts. There's this great guy from the UK that talks about putting the cell phones on these schools, and he details all the spy technology that they uncovered back during the Cold War. They researched all this. They know it's not optimized and good for us. And so read about Operation Mockingbird, and even more important is MK Ultra, where they programmed and they gave psychedelics to the people. Anybody see A Clockwork Orange, Stanley Kubrick's film? So that's real information, and they were trying that on unsuspecting university students and other mentally ill people. And so this stuff goes on. We don't hear about it until later, until it's become declassified. But you can find it. You can find all this information. So if they were doing that 20, 30 years ago, what are they doing now? Google's compiling all your data. Apple's compiling all your data. Amazon's compiling all your data. And it's now being utilized against us for our buying habits. And your cell phone is turned into a slot machine. Anybody been to Vegas? So your Instagram feed with a little blue dot or a little red dot, you've got a notification. It's the same technology. It's a dopamine rush. If somebody says something negative, that's adrenaline. If somebody says something positive, it's dopamine, and we're feeding on that. So just know that you're addicted to it. I use my social media for business, and specifically for business. It drains my energy a lot, but I use it sparingly and I use it effectively. So know the tools that you have, powerful tools. Remember, there's two forces in the universe, yin and yang, up and down, black and white. So there's always a positive to the negative. The ancient sages have always said, walk the middle path. Right? Know thyself. Know your boundary over here is too yang, too hot, or too cool, yin. Right? And balance those two energies. Be cognizant of your own energy field and manage yourself. I think the religion stepped in there a little bit, and the control mechanisms. If you love and take care of yourself first, they call that selfish. But look, there's only one here. If you don't take care of yourself, how are you going to take care of your kids? How are you going to leave a legacy for your grandchildren and the future and what you're trying to do? Do you think we're just all slaves just trying to make money in this big Federal Reserve system? No. We're beyond that, and we're evolving past it now. The rumblings of the dismantling of the Fed are already happening. The information on how it got created is all over the internet. So,
The creature from Jekyll.
I think I just need to get to the solutions. So one of the solutions, look, I've got three major solutions. I've got tons of videos. I've made over 500 videos on YouTube. I've got a ton of information. It's all free as my gift to you guys. If you guys have questions, you can text me. I can give you a video that I've already created. I work one-on-one with clients. but my time is so valuable, and I'm not looking for a bazillion clients, so I only work with the elite that want my knowledge and that can go out and affect change. So it's not right for everyone. I also do retreats, and I take people to the Amazon. My next trip to the Amazon to drink ayahuasca with the indigenous shamans down there, it penetrates the liver, the gallbladder, the intestines, but more importantly, it penetrates the nervous system, where we hold our beliefs, and it helps you go through like a system defrag and clear that energy and make decisions based on your long-term survival. I've done over 30 ayahuasca ceremonies in the Amazon, and it's extremely powerful medicine. It's extremely effective. It's not right for everyone. It's a psychedelic brew. It's legal in Ecuador and Peru. But the fact of the matter is if you want to transform your life, if you want to wake up on higher levels of consciousness, come with me to the Amazon in this winter. We're going to do it December, January is the next scheduled date down there. But one of the best ways to work with me is to do my 40-day cleanse. I have an organic green juice cleanse. If you get cancer and you want to heal it naturally, you're going to find Max Gerson in the Gerson therapy. You're going to find Ann Wigmore in the Hippocrates Institute. There's two of them. There's one in Florida and the Optimal Health Institute in San Diego. It's a wheatgrass farm that you go there and you juice for as many days as you can to clean out the body. And so we have commercialized that. My business partner was left Ann Wigmore's legacy. She is the mother of wheatgrass. She gave us heirloom seeds of wheatgrass from the Egyptian tombs. The Egyptians knew how to take care of the human body. They had the Egyptian mystery schools that Pythagoras went to. A lot of the alchemy and the magic and Newton and all these guys were Newton, Descartes, Da Vinci. They were all educated in the Egyptian mystery schools, and they were all about cleaning out the organs with green juice materials. You're taking liquid sunshine that's bioavailable and you're washing your internal organs. So do the cleanse with me. I think we've got about for the first 30 people that go up there, we have $50 off your cleanse. And we'll be starting that group cleanse on Brian's private Facebook group. You have all access to text me daily, and everything's guaranteed, 100% satisfaction guaranteed. And just your own purchase for your own nutrition, it's about $300 or so. It's like $8 a day for the most powerful nutrition on the planet. I recommend everybody do the cleanse. Brian's done it a couple of times already. And so my dad's done it. I've done 7 of them myself. I've been juicing and juice fasting for almost 30 years. I'm here to tell you, it makes a huge difference when you clean out your organs. Your hormones start to optimize, etc. Look, I've been juicing for 30 years. I no longer have to juice. 2 scoops in water, we dry everything. It's got all the enzymes, vitamins, and minerals in it. So you're out in the field, you're starving, you don't have time to go. The only thing that's available, Troy said, eat organic food. Nothing's available. We have the organic green juice. It's about 150 calories, so at least your vitamins, minerals, and enzymes are taken care of. It's not about calories, guys. The myth that calories in versus calories out is a myth. It's a total myth. I eat whatever I want when I'm hungry. And so as long as it's real food. And so it's a complete myth, this whole thing around calories in versus calories out and counting calories. When you eat real food, your body stops eating when it's nourished. When you come up and have some of the green juice that I have upstairs, I'll give everyone a sample. That is pure nutrition. You feel it immediately in your body. And your body's looking for nutrition, not calories. So scrub the barnacles. Feel better. Solutions. Let me just rattle them off here. Breath work. Brian's doing breath work with Wim Hof. Breathing, which brings fire and opens up the capillaries and circulation in the body. Then you jump into an ice bath. This is optimization. This is ancient yoga, 5,000 years old. It's been popularized by Wim Hof. That may be too advanced for people, but opening up your breathing apparatus is so important. Proper sleep hygiene. Here's the thing, guys, and I know you guys are going to hate me for this, but here's the thing. You're going to get more mileage out of your nutrition, and you're going to get more mileage on going to bed at 10 as your target date and getting 8 hours sleep, because the body heals itself and it repairs itself. You can start wrapping your head around that and moving in that direction. Before I had kids, I was staying up till 1 and 2 and 3, editing and doing emails. And as soon as I got this information, because I was exhausted, I don't mess with my sleep for the last 8 years. That's why I can look like a spring chicken at 52 years old. It's one of the reasons. Powerful nutrition, managing your stress levels by sleeping. 10 to 6 a.m., lots of research on circadian rhythms that can be accelerated by that. Getting into the sun, qigong, sun is nutrition. Learn how to put antioxidants in your body and get that sun energy. It's straight nutrition. Letting go of resentment and forgiveness is big. Self-reflection and honesty. Prayer, meditation, working with a mentor or a coach like Brian. You guys are all success people. I know you already do that. And so, and I'm one of those guys. I can be your coach on social media, just feeding you information, or follow my Instagram feed. Stretching, fasting, micronutrition, the herbs and superfoods that I have upstairs. Barefoot grounding is so important. Get your feet into the earth. It'll get rid of the fire and electricity that's living inside your body, electromagnetic frequency and radiation. Nature, gratitude journal saved my life. I just went through a divorce recently, and we were just killing each other with doom and gloom. And I'm like, wait a second, I live in Santa Monica. I eat organic food. My kids are in private schools. We have brand new cars. How bad can life be? Oh my God, write a gratitude journal. Like, I got my 5 fingers. You know, I can breathe, okay? That's good enough. Gratitude journal will save your life. Practicing compassion, retreats, conferences like you're at right now, and unifying with other people that are doing this and that are living this. You know, get with people that are doing this. Same thing, you know, taking care of yourself, taking care of the earth. And so thank you so much for being here. I appreciate it.